Okay, I seem to have the luck on the 5-minute at the moment. Just as well, because I'm doing 5-minute live commentary tonight. So, okay, Bigbroom. Bigbroom. Is letting me play King's Gambit again. This guy. Okay. Playing with B4, I think. Let's get a rapid centre. Wants to spoil the fun of the gambit, but there's another gambit here. Bishop against Bishop C5, B4. Get the centre quick. He's going to play D6, something solid. Can't allow that. So B4, the bishop's a little bit of a target. So C3. Get the queen out on this diagonal maybe, or just D4. Bishop A5, queen A4. Okay, so we get this centre. Maybe bishop B2. Or maybe quick D5. Bishop B2 might be fun. So knight D2, bishop D3, or knight D2, knight C4. Bishop D3, queen C2. Castle queenside, maybe. Am I fragile here? That's the question. So say knight E4. Do I need to castle quickly kingside? Otherwise knight E4. Probably not yet. Knight E4. But here, if say queen C2, then knight E4, knight E4, F5, knight G5 takes. There might be bishop C4 there though. That's D5. So okay, maybe I should castle. It's a bit boring, but I'll castle kingside. And there's potential for king H1 and E5 anyway to try and dislodge this knight. There's no like rook E5 here on bishop D3. So king H1, E5. Then maybe knight G5. Bishop G4 say. That could be annoying for knight C6. Oh, I like the wedge. I like this attacking pawn wedge. Okay. Okay, I'll protect the E3 square. Could have been worse, I think. Mind you, there was bishop H7 there and knight G5. Ah, wasn't that? No, it was protecting. Silly. Okay, so what about just H3? Just evict this guy at knight G5, or just knight G5, and leave it. I'm going to evict it because I want to get in queen H5 as a threat. So bishop is supporting D4, but this is I don't know, G4. Can I try and smash him to bits with G4? Takes F5. I'll lose the knight. Is that a big deal? F6, I think it is a big deal. Can I use this B file or something? I think queen H5 here anyway. What is the threat? Knight H7, there's no threat. Maybe there is G4 after that. Okay, let's get the troops in. Because I'm depriving him of the F6 square, so how is the queen going to get evicted? It's not by knight D7 to F6 anyway. So knight F3, G4, then maybe knight H4. I want to intensify pressure on this guy, and this guy, this square. So knight F3, G4, maybe rook F2 to G2, king H2, rook G1. Get all the pieces lined up against the king here. So knight F3, king H2, maybe rook F2, the other one's G2, G4, play for G4. So that actually the knight's virtually pinned anyway. As well as knight F7, queen F7, H7 is also a problem. So how is he evicting the queen that easily? Say bishop E6 to F7 though, that would evict the queen. Bishop E6, that's the problem, to F7. He's spending a bit of time here. Okay, I don't know what to do about bishop E6. Can I just take it? G4. It would weaken the light squares a bit. So just take that light square bishop, but then G4. takes f5, rook moves, then f6 might be powerful, the rook on f1. Because also I'll be undermining the knight on h6. Because if it takes, then there'll be queen h6. Okay, he's deprived himself of bishop e6. So I'm wondering, g4, it's probably premature. Maybe just get the king over here for a second. There's queen e8 coming up. Okay. Queen e8. So g4 is probably harmless, queen e8. So knight f3, I leave my queen in, queen h4. I could do that, just leave the queen there, queen h4. I can come back now, if needed. What about rook a e1 and e6? Well, just e6 and then I've got knight e5. So rook a1, e6. Looks pretty crushing. Do I bother taking that? Because otherwise knight c7 to e6 could be a good defense. I think so. I'm going to take and then play e6. Because this bishop, I don't know if it's that useful actually. I mean, there was g4, but I'm weakening myself. It's better to have a massive pawn on e6. Surely rook a1, knight e5. So bishop e6, rook a1. Okay. So knight e5 here would be threatening like nothing. I don't know. Maybe this is the time for g4? No, probably not. What about this bishop? Can I do anything with it? Don't know. Probably not. So knight e5 looks... I think I won pin to be able to play knight e5. With queen g5. Okay, I'll have to move this guy. What about bishop a5 to c7 to e5? That will get the bishop useful if it's on e5. Whoa! Okay, bishop a6, rook f2. I can try and get in bishop c7 to e5 rather cheekily. Like now. So I'll be pointing at g7. So that's very useful inside the pawn chain. And then knight f7 is a big threat. Or even just knight takes h7 immediately. Knight takes h7. Or just knight e4 just threatened mate. There's knight d6. Efficient move, say. Whoa! Oh, there's a bit of a crush. Yeah, I don't know what's going on tonight. I think lots of bunnies. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's just sometimes games seem easy to play. I don't know. I mean, this is a problem bishop here. It's doing nothing, so I'm just improving it, getting it to e5. But he completely let me, you know, just let me do that. Time pressure. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks so much.